drive to find an answer, to find a solution, has there's no way that anything has reached this high up into the halls of power. There's no way that such a mad person's reach would extend this far, especially in their clear-cut misunderstanding as to the way the society works. For it to reach here, there must be a groundswell. There must be something overtly obvious, so detrimental to the tower. And unfortunately, that conversation and those facts that you hold don't rise to that level of that burden of proof. Exiting a little more frustrated at the wheels moving in their own pace, Tobias finds himself contemplating how to not become involved, how to make this an obvious thing so that he doesn't have to do any of the work. He'd also like to make it easy on Hassan because, well, perfectly honest, as a co-roommate, there's a level of understanding, a level of respect that has to be there. And you wouldn't want to make his life more difficult. There's enough problems in the world. However, this is most assuredly something that needs to be addressed. And sad though it seems as the representative for the will of the tower in this situation, that person, that being, that hand that has to deal with this must be yours.
Fun times.
How would you deal with the nuisance? The nuisance of the potential threat to the tower?
Are we talking specifically about Mahdi, or are we talking about more just the general rumors?
Tobias, not the character specifically, but how would you deal with a nuisance? How would Tobias deal with a small annoyance that requires a little bit more than the 15 minutes it takes to read a book?
I actually think he doesn't know who to go to at this point. He already tried other places. He just would kind of keep it to himself right now and just see, maybe it's in the point where it comes to the future, maybe not too long, but see if what happens and just observe it for a little bit. If it gets to maybe a big problem, he might really have to elevate higher up, maybe finally have to bug Hassan about it. But yeah, I mean, the only people he would probably have to give it to, would be up in the chantry. But I mean, so he probably would just kind of he would be annoyed by it and he would be worried about it, but he's kind of stuck in a situation where he doesn't know what to do. So
okay, so finding himself with no star to guide himself by, he finds himself at the chantry. There's a murmur going around. There are not many in the world at large that the Tremere as a whole, the monolithic identity that is a Tremere, consider worthwhile in regards to putting on their independent personal red list. There are very few. There's Clarence Bartleby, who is somewhere out east. There is Nigel Porter. There's Antonio Calabarshi. There's a few notable warlocks who rise to the level of, if they are seen, their personas non grata. They are to be divested of their blood as well as all of their mystical knowledge, no matter when they are found. And whispers and rumors, being what they are, grow in the telling. And it seems as if one low-level, out-of-the-way neophyte who happened to be perhaps experimenting with things he may not have been quite ready for was purchasing a replacement for the cadaver that, went poof.
Oh.
And in the process, he could swear as he was approaching the wholesale dealer that he saw the fat, jowly, blue-suited man himself, looking considerably far worse for wear. His bandages were wrapped around his head as his arm looked as if it wasn't completely attached. And he swears that was the person he saw. How Interesting. Especially being as the collapse of the funeral home is all over the news. It's all over the Twitter streams. It is all over social media. Building falls in on itself. Building explodes. And then you even have certain headlines that says aliens cause demolition amongst the dead. And while that thought percolates, we slide along. Vladislav.
Yes.
Are we playing Vladislav, Tanner, or one of the others?
Vladislav.
Vladislav, the new kindred on the scene, the new Promethean himself, the new masked man, the new corporate commander of the entertainment field. What brings you to Boise?
Ever since leaving Kiev, Vladislav has been searching for new cities that have no control, no hierarchy of the unwilling. He looks for weaknesses in the kindred of the city, especially in those that are of younger generations. He has no care for those younger than him, and no care for those who are older than him. He only cares for those of his generation. He's a man of very few words. Quite few words. No one has ever seen his face, even once in their life. And if they have not lived to tell the tale. Vladislav comes from Ukraine, Kiev, as aforementioned. And his veils are his personality. They change depending on how he's feeling on a particular day or night. Burnt umber generally is his neutral colors. Greens and blacks try to keep it on the mellow tones, but when they change to golds and metallic colors, he's looking for something. Whether it be blood, money, both, or even the still beating heart of someone's touchstone.
So being an agent of chaos, being a deciding factor in the fall of several things, several cities, several birds, several immortalities. Why does Vladislav find himself exploring the pleasures to be had visually and potentially more at Misfits?
His club, the Succubus Club here in Boise, has been getting quite stale as of late. It would seem that the club Hysteria, though his pride and joy, he wants to change of pace. So he comes to the Misfits looking for change. He wears a burnt umber chained veil, his classic look. Though his clothing is that of what to be like combat fatigues, dark greens and grays, very much tactical. Wears a belt and pistol, but no other signifying features beyond just that.
How does he get his firearm past security?
Oh, it's tucked underneath his jacket. It's not open carry. It's concealed carry. He has a permit.
There's trouble and then there's trouble. Most people don't know the difference between the two because the word is exactly the same. But the inflection on that means a huge universe of difference. The sort of trouble that kids get into, the sort of troubles that minors get into is trouble. But then there's trouble. There is the brewing discontent that you know will cause at least minor upheaval of societal structures. And that's what Misfits is. It provides a fantasy as well as a temporary reality where you can have the release you need. It is the reason why there is not a night that does not pass where it is packed. Having come to inspect and steal as much as you can in regards to fostering Hysteria's growth as an entertainment capital, this place is trouble. The gentleman running the floor is the old school backroom dealer, the sort that would shake your hand just as easy as toss you out on your ear, provided you interrupt the flow of commerce. There's a way that things are done with that sort of individual, and he manages to keep the fantasy moving. He's just glad handy enough to be a welcome face, and just dour enough that most would not want to transgress against him. His smile comes easy, but so too does his frown. He doesn't facilitate nor waffle. It is a clear goal that he does not forsake. His goal is to ensure that every person that walks through that door has a good time at the expense of no one. And his stewardship has the security moving like invisible hands through the club. Just a tap on the shoulder here, a head nod there, a shake to appease a situation that is growing beyond polite, and all directed with a glare or smile, a head nod up or a shake no, as he turns to the bar and speaks with clearly several out-of-town businessmen who have come to let their hair down, and back, catching an eye of the head bouncer at the front door. This place is trouble. This is the sort of place where what makes it as sweet, as nice, as polite are the staff. They're believers.
What a wonderful club. You have quite pleasure.
Hey, buddy, how you doing? I don't meet many of you. What do you call it? Sikh or sick?
Call it what you want.
Well, I don't mean to offend or anything. I'm Bud. How you doing? And he offers his hand to shake.
He doesn't offer his hand out. He just nods and smiles.
Okay. Well, I understand.
Well, actually, you don't see the smile because of the veil, but...
Okay, I understand. Not everybody's a touchy guy. I get it. You got a girl of choice you like? You got a GOC that works for you? A type?
A type? Not quite.
We ain't open up the guys' night. That's only Thursdays.
Looking for somebody. Is there somebody here by the name of Mason?
I can't say that I know anybody named Mason. That's not really that common of a name. Hey, no running. Look at those shoes. You're gonna fucking fall. Which way you going? I can't say that I know a Mason exactly, but you're free to look around and ask a couple of the girls. Hey, put that down. I gotta go deal with this. You make yourself to home. Make sure you remember it is a 2-drink minimum. I'll see you around. And Bud slides away back into the club. Hey, how you doing? Hey, and you can see him as what he is. He's the hub of all of the action. He's not vital to covering any distance. He's just vital for holding the wheel together so that the cart gets where it needs to.
Right. Vladislav is gonna look around, and underneath the veil he smiles and snickers, trying to make his way towards any of the open tables that is near any uneasy people?
Normally in a situation in a club like this, in a place where fantasy is for rent, there'd be several places that were empty, several dead zones, several little spots out of the way where people could look and leer without being looked and leered on directly. Misfits isn't laid out in that sort of way. It is designed by nature to be sociable, for you to have easy or seemingly easy access to the girls. In fact, the access is so easy that 2 feet away from the table upon which Vladislav finally settles, there is one of the performers playing chess with a grandfather of sorts. He's wide of shoulder, thick of belly, his hair as white as Santa Claus's beard, his eyes a little roomy, but seeing clear enough toward the board. You're not going to try the Persian on me this time. Look, here, I've learned. And then you see him move the bishop's pawn to stop a attack on the knight's pawn. It is clear that he and the blonde at the table have played several games. And at the right, well, at his right, her left, there's a stack of bills, clearly for her time, that she obviously has no interest in. The idea of one of the entertainers playing a game of chance with a clear regular to which there is no attraction changes a small bit of the immediate appraisal, but not enough for any of it to be unfactual. And speaking of the lie of existence, everyone knows that life is short. That truism is no different for the kindred, because no matter how much you try, no matter how often you attempt to not rush things, the exsanguination of life happens far too quickly. Aaron tears herself free of the empty carcass of the cultist, his fat, greasy lifestyle affecting his blood, because even in the final moments of his life where terror was all that he knew, there was an avarice, a greedy sense of hunger within him. There was a craving that if he said just the right thing, he might escape, and that clearly illusory ideal and that hunger, that empty void of being, was his existence. Why he was so easily led astray. Dropping the body, exhaling in joy, knowing that this gentleman's name was Ryan Korst. He was from Upper Michigan. You knew that he's been married 6 times, each time on a whim. His last wife was the reason why he ended up homeless and more strung out than usual. The only joy in understanding Ryan is the fact that he didn't have the swimmers necessary to start procreation. He was selfish and banal enough that he didn't have it checked out. He knew it was him. He fell off the second story of his home's back porch, falling upon a pole when he was roughly 9. He carries a scar today, halfway between the underside of his testes and his taint. There's a ring. Why that settles in your head is one of those things, one of those vicissitudes of draining another person's soul that Aaron never quite figured out how to avoid. Like the fact that his favorite meal was actually a jelly and almond butter sandwich. His favorite car was a Peugeot that he stole when he was 12.
Well, I am full. The witness has been dealt with. I am going to check what Tyler and Connor are heading towards, and I want to activate Isa the Beast.
Oh, you probably shouldn't have done that. Would you be so kind as to go ahead and roll your wits plus awareness? plus your protein.
Okay.
Protein. Yes.
Wits, awareness, and protein?
Yes.
Ooh, that is a fat pull for me.
For your sanity. Don't get above 4.
It's kinda hard. My wits and awareness is very high, and my protein is pretty high as well, so... I don't have hunger. That is kind of weird. Do I just put a 0 then, where hunger was?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I got 4 successes out of that 10 dice pool.
Alright, so...
I will roll a willpower to see if I get more. 5.
Alright, so...
Fight and roll on the ground and stab each other like this.
As you look towards where Tyler and Connor, who has his saber drawn, and as you see Tyler's sword glinting in the waning light of the stars up above, the person, the entity that they are moving towards is not a person so much as it is a vibe. That vibe is destruction of life. Imagine a nearly 7 foot tall being, a bipedal being, which has instead of the human nose that one is accustomed to, has the bat-like protrusion and raised ridges from the tip of its nostrils all the way back to its brow. Its ears, downturned though they are, and flat against its head, are those of bat ears with additional appendages as if they're small fingers where the cartilage should be, and it moves and shakes according to the screeches emanating from its only half open mouth, its voice projecting forward and out, causing the teeth to move as if they are flower petals, jagged flower petals, the sort of things you would see on a foal's hooves once they were born. The petals designed to keep the mother from being kicked to death internally, except for instead of falling off when meeting the air, instead of drying up, they're still moist and wet. And as he screeches towards Tyler in that annoying language that bats have, they move seemingly of their own volition. The hair along its forearms, which you can see, look as if they are stone, having forced its way through his skin from the bones inside. And what looks like a cloak from a distance, you realize are in fact wings tied down with bungee cords. You try not to take in more details, but unfortunately, fate is not kind, even though it is on your side. Standing there is what would happen if someone splashed radioactive waste on a bat and made him roll in a human skin. The fingernails on his hands are black and covered in something else's dried, desiccated blood. And this smile that dances at the corner of its mouth is one of prepared violence. If Tyler slides just 3 feet forward, he will easily be within its quick sneak attack range. That much you are aware of because the muscles up and down his neck are tensed and waiting.
So he looks like
I will-
one, essentially. Is he like human size?
7 feet tall.
Oh god.
I will rush towards Tyler and grab his arm, popping him, and I will also activate Feral Whispers. It's a rouse check, right?
Yeah.
It is.
So I can talk to it. I have 1 hunger now. I will stop Tyler and ask, who are you?
I could be your daddy. Does anyone besides Tyler and Aaron have feral whispers?
I do not have it.
Ah, okay. Well, in that case, what you hear is the rough approximation of a bat in a screamo band, and it's scream metal. A battle of scream metal vocalists back and forth between first initially with Tyler and then whatever is out there in the darkness, and now Aaron is joined in, and it is, luckily for Connor, he does not have heightened senses.
I will be because of Eyes of the Beast, my eyes are red and glowing. I will be looking up so that they know it's something big. Since they can't see it, but I will be stopping Tyler and looking up to tell them at least what height this thing is. What are you doing here?
Tyler's gonna turn on prowess. I actually got the roll there. Wow, for one longer. So his heart beat once, twice, and the vitia pours to his muscles. He feels stronger as the warm embrace of potence surrounds him. Aaron is right beside him. He's usually not a brave man, but there's no way he's gonna look like a coward in front of her. So he just stares in the darkness, he lowers the scarf, letting his monstrous face be seen. And he just, obviously she's talking to him. And she's our leader, she's our alpha, she is his alpha. But he's backing her up here. Whatever that thing is, he's confident it can take both of them.
I'm giving you a chance to go ahead and die on somebody else's watch. I got a thing to do. I'm working. You can leave.
Are you here for the corpses as well?
Their corpses and or yours. Leave. You do what you have to.
This cult or associated with the Frankenstein guy that this cult had in the other house.
Yeah, well, you can die here, or you can die tomorrow. Either way, I'm taking the corpses. I'm trying to give you guys a chance to leave. If you see me, you will die. And he takes a half step forward. His right foot, no longer as tends to spring forward, is now almost equal to his left. And as they draw closer, he crouches. He's no longer standing at his full height, but as he crouches there in the darkness, it is clear that based on size alone, you and Tyler are within easy springing distance for him.
I will slowly pull Tyler to step away, at least to keep out of his range. What are you? Were you made by this cult? I've never seen something like you.
You can see me?
I'm hearing you.
And as he growls, the most disconcerting thing about watching teeth move as if they are in fact just short tentacles is the fact how they are clearly sharp as they move, and his tongue trails against them. You can see the blood beginning to sprout from the tongue.
I am still pacing away, like pulling Tyler and trying to gesture to Connor to back away as well.
Connor, being there with your saber out, watching Tyler, who's vanquished a foe far faster than you would have expected from someone so well dressed, and having seen Aaron dismantle a human in the blink of an eye, and Momo literally stick her hand through someone. What is your response to watching their backs grow closer to you instead of further away? Tyler's sword is out, his shoulders are clearly the victims of far too many overhead presses as his musculature beneath the suit stands out almost in bas relief.
Well, can I see the Batman, or like, can they only see him?
I'm the only one who can see because I have the eyes of the beast active so far.
But I could hear like the screeching and speaking and all that.
Yeah, all the screeching back and forth like the screamo band made of bats.
Dang, Connor's suffering from a hunger compulsion at this time too. Did Aaron literally kill the guy that he... Yeah, I licked my hands, but I assume that was more for drama purposes than actual slaking, unless it does count.
No, unfortunately, you really do need to consume, and that compulsion is still upon you.
3 cards confirmed.
Yeah, it's not gonna be good if I try attacking him. So Connor's gonna I'm assuming that one of the dead bodies are nearby. So assuming that's fresh, he's gonna take a sip from the wrist.
So with the screaming, the screeching, the bat-like communication between Aaron, Tyler, and whatever is out there in the dark, the pain of Connor's beast reaches up and grabs him by the throat, forcing his back to bow as the blood there has not quite settled to the lowest point on the corpse of the cadaver, and he sinks his fangs in. It is literally being so tired, so stressed, so strained that the moment that the water of your shower hits your muscles, it feels as if you have entered into the gates of heaven. That's what the surcease of the cooling, coagulating blood dribbling down his throat feels like. It is finally removing the day's dirt and filth. It is finally having hot water trail down your spine and massage your muscles in its heat after a work day from hell. And that blood that coats Connor's throat is still cooling. You can still feel the life fading from it. His sword in hand, he holds on for all his might because he knows if he lets go of his saber and if he gives in, he will follow the path this blood is flowing in right to the edge of infinity. He will follow the soul still there into the world beyond. There is nothing there for him except for that blood. The world fades to one fine prick of light in the field of darkness. And when we come back to Connor, his compulsion will be gone. But feeding will require a scene. And while that's happening, Momo, naked to the wind, naked to the world, blade bare for all to see, having divested this corpse of his portion of his innards, having divested the heart of all of its sweet stored blood, having gotten what you need and chomping on the last bits of one of the ventricles of the heart, watching Aaron and Tyler hold the line even as they are backing towards you, watching Connor bend towards the will of his beast. What is it that comes over Momo as Petra is urging her? It's Cam. It's Cam. Get up, it's Cam.
I will mention to Connor and Momo, though Connor is busy feeding now. You know the disposal guy that our the interrogated tug mentioned? He's here and he's big. And he's pissed. By the way, I also rolled for feral weapon to draw up my claws. I succeeded. I only have 1 hunger still.
Yes. And as that information is shared amongst us, amongst the temporary coterie, Momo, I believe your volume or your mic is connected with something else currently. So we're going to give you a few moments to get back to us. And while we wait for Momo to settle in, we're going to slide along towards Mason, settling into the table there at the booth, not willing to sit next to him on that side of the booth. So, you got a list, and you say it's not that stupid fucking massage list. What is it about?
Well, take a look for yourself. I'll hand him an envelope with specifically his information copied from the book.
So you got my car phone number. When did you get this, and where is this from?
I think it's from a mutual service to which we both partake. Care to guess?
It doesn't look like my machines. It doesn't look like the golden road. No, it's not me. No, I didn't get in my car phone. No. Look, you got me, kid. What's going on here? What do you want?
You know the funeral home?
Oh, shit. Yeah, well, there's nothing really illegal about that.
Oh?
Not really. It's not illegal to buy a body. To dispose of it, well, you gotta pay somebody. It's not illegal.
Sure, yeah. We can go believing that. What I'm here for is specifically a deal. And the off chance that somebody else doesn't think so lightly of your involvement with a business to which there was recently a massacre at.
Look, that's just rumors. There's no definable bodies that were found there that weren't supposed to be there. The roof caved in. Shit happened. Bad construction.
Are you confident in that?
You seem mighty confident, but you always do. I always thought you were an arrogant little prick. How much money do you want?
I don't want just money. I said I'm here for a deal. But one of my deals only ever been for something as simple as money. I've got as much as I need.
So what are you driving at, kid? What do you want? Come on, spit it out. I got a girl back there willing to catch whatever you want to toss. How about that?
The fact that you're not taking this seriously is very disappointing.
Does Vladislav see this conversation happening from across the way?
Yes.
He's going to stand up slowly, not to make any noise out of the chair. He's going to walk over and stand right behind Mason, going the long scenic route to where Mason couldn't see him walk behind him.
It's as simple as this. I want an alliance. You, specifically, subservient unto me for the process, I would wipe your information from this book. In that way, I would assist you in what you need, and you in what I need.
Coach, Lisa, kind of go ahead and roll your manipulation plus persuasion.
Alrighty. Let me find the dice channels. And would this fall under the negotiation subtype?
Yes.
Alright. Difficulty 3?
Yes.
Come on, buddy. Don't do this to me.
You pressed it in the wrong dice channel.
Successes. I have 3 successes versus difficulty 3.
3 successes versus difficulty 3. Now, that wasn't supposed to happen. You are sure that, unlike most, you challenging Jeremiah to him not taking it seriously put a small kink in his plan because he very much was taking it very seriously. Part of his skill at manipulating others is always seeming less bothered than he actually is. You calling him on the ploy worries him, especially when as he knows where you obtained his information from. Doesn't know exactly how much information you've obtained, but simply having that information is enough to put a bullet into your head. He doesn't have a bullet, and you clearly have security, so he looks from you to your security standing over your shoulder and back. Look, kid, I'm sure you were recording every fucking thing anyway, so yeah, you can tell you and your goon squad, okay, I get it. You got me, fine.
Goon Squad? What are you talking about?
Hello, Mason.
What? Hello? Who are you?
None of your concern.
I think I'm very concerned as to why you've been stalking behind me, it seems.
Just listening. Nothing to worry about.
That is exactly something to worry about. Can I ask why you're listening? Security?
Don't worry about them. I'm not harming you, am I?
No, but you are... What's the word? Imposing upon a conversation which you have nothing to do with.
I'm simply standing here.
Then stand elsewhere.
I've been looking for you, Mason.
That's even more concerning.
Your name has been coming up here soon. Many of my sect members have been talking about you. I'm happy to finally see you.
Okay, you there, and I'll point across the table. We'll meet again at a different time. Just know that I've got
keep him here. You should listen.
Look, no, this is none of my business. You're a level spat. I'm fucking out of here. Hey,
Sit down.
Security.
You sit down.
No, you're not.
He's going to intimidate him.
You're not my type, buddy. I don't even know what your face looks like.
Don't you leave.
You're just not. Let's not do this. Let's just you do whatever you two lovebirds are gonna do, and I got a girl back here. You enjoy your evenings. Remember, no fluids outside of the champagne room. Enjoy. I'm gonna.
You and I will converse again later. Just you know my contact info, and I know yours. Keep an ear to the phone. As it applies to you, please take a seat.
He just walks around to the other side of the table and just stands, just staring down at him.
It's a pleasure to meet you. You seem to know of me, but I nothing of you.
Good. Glad.
Also glad. Have we met before?
No, not yet. This is our first time seeing each other.
All right. I'll go.
Your friends, where are they?
Friends?
Aaron, Tyler. These names are not unfamiliar to you, as I know.
Yes, they are something I'm acquainted with. But may I ask what you want them for?
Washaki's looking for you.
Who the hell?
I'm sure you've met him before.
Most likely have, but normally people love...
Where's your sire? Are you young?
You're asking for a lot of information that I'm not necessarily compelled to give.
You're a cocky one, aren't you?
No, I just know
Thinking you have the big dick, don't you? You think you can just blackmail your friend there?
I never said he was my friend.
Acquaintance?
Colleague.
Blackmail is never good.
No.
It can get you into darker places.
I'm in a very dark place right now, if you haven't noticed the lighting.
We can go darker.
Okay, now you're threatening me, and I really will call security.
That's fine. He reaches into one of the pouches, pulls out about 30 or so spuds equivalent, and a white envelope, slides it over on the table. Now let's make a deal.
Looks at the envelope and back to the individual.
I'm here to make a deal.
You couldn't have chosen a more private location.
Never.
Sure, as I said, take a seat, we can discuss.
I do not sit.
That must be tiring. Alright, so what is it exactly that you want from me?
I'm looking for those two individuals.
Okay.
Bringing me to them safely. You get the cash. I simply need to speak to them, but they are elusive, always on the run.
Okay. Upon him saying that he simply wishes to speak with them, am I able to discern anything from that?
Yes, it has. What is the idealized aim and trajectory of Mason's unlife? There's the aim and idealized idea as to what the trajectory of his evening would have been. This is the complete antithesis to all of those things in one fell swoop. Standing before you is a harbinger of death. Someone in this modern age who is clearly inhuman, be it a body or mind, who is so adverse to the world around them that their antiquated style of dress and their adherence to keeping their face covered has one purpose: the delineation and discussion of power flowing to them. Their tactics are straightforward intimidation, from the moment of looming over to the moment of insisting to the moment of holding a conversation that has nothing to do with what you've said and stated. The purchase of your time is never just the purchase of your time, it's the purchase of your being, the purchase of your temporary fealty to inure you to the idea of giving considerable more fealty on a more permanent basis. As a businessman, as a human who's lived as long as you have, you know that saying yes, acquiescing to a small favor, makes you more likely to acquiesce to a larger one, just a little bit larger. And then the next step, and then the next step, led down the merry trail to your own immortal hell. Yes is yes, but it's never just yes. There's a deal on the table. You have nothing to negotiate with or against.
I say this one more time. Find me Tyler Darren. The money's yours to spend for which you may decide at a later point. I do not work with vampiric boons. That's what you are, aren't you? You're just one of those simple little fledglings. Your name has come up many times. Many times amongst the fallen. But don't worry. For as long as I am on your tail, you are protected. You shall not be harmed. You shall not be touched. I'm watching every step you take. Every move you make. See it as an opportunity for renewal.
Well, slow, but you still kind of go ahead and roll your wits plus streetwise.
My what?
Wits plus streetwise. Your
Wits plus streetwise?
Yep, your target number is 5. There is clearly more things happening in misfits than this table. And it's clear that as skillful as they are, that some things are just above certain people's pay grade.
You said Witt Street-wise?
Yes, sir?
Okay. Okay.
Oh, don't forget we had a dice channel for the VCs.
You said difficulty of 5?
Yes, sir.
Cool.
Hey, look at that.
Standing up from the table to keep what is heading in your direction from interrupting your conversation is the easiest, most direct thing for Vladislav to do. Does he ignore the oncoming onslaught of bodies and the crush of people seeking escape, or does he hold strong and sit holding eye contact with Mason?
He just grips the ends of the chair. You can see through the gloved hands the straining of the wood underneath his firm grip as he just scoots a little bit closer in to let the people behind pass.
So, I don't know what you've heard of me. I don't know what exactly made you think that money really mattered to me at this point. And I don't know what made you think that I would turn on my allies for it. I assume this is a check, because there's no way you're laying down 30 spuds worth of material on a table.
Yeah, it's a check.
I'll take the check, fold it up, and stick it in what remains of that other gentleman's drink.
What is Mason's stamina?
It is 2.
Oh no. So as he makes the grand gesture of ripping the check to shreds and dropping it into the remnants of Jeremiah's drink, the crush and rush of bodies that were seeking escape from the fight that these bouncers are stopping crashes against the table where he and Vladislav are. Now it makes sense why Vladislav was holding onto the table and bracing for impact, because it fucking sucks to be buried by people. The strong and pell-mell of activity is the sort you would expect if at homecoming with two high school rivals from across the tracks. The sort of press and scrum that West Side Story sought to emulate in dance and song. And that dance and those songs are sung against the very bones of Mason's being, and that dance is tap danced across his back, arms, head, legs, as he is driven to the floor and pressed by people seeking every and any means of escape, even if that escape is from this mortal coil from the press of bodies.
Oh, this is great. I'm so happy with this. My first night was essentially a vampiric orgy. Now I get to get thrown into a mosh pit. I'm living the rocker life, my man.
Seems you're popular.
Look, I'm not that popular. Can we maneuver these individuals off of me?
I don't think so.
Oh, come on.
That's keeping you at bay.
So at this point, you're actively keeping me in this kerfuffle?
I'm not, but the crowd is.
Oh yeah, fuck this crowd. As they're fighting on top of me, I'll just kind of... I'll activate my awe and shout to the crowd, "Get off of me or every single one of you will not see tomorrow." Well, awe doesn't affect this, but who gives a fuck? I'll activate it.
One of the moved along salmon that were attempting to swim upstream to escape reaches down and pulls you to your feet. Now they say that it takes all types, and the woman who wraps her hands around yours is definitely the living embodiment of Fiona from Shrek as a human. Her biceps Her biceps literally are only 2 inches less than the width of your chest. Her legs, her thighs, even dressed as she is with actual jeans, looks as if the clothing has been sprayed on her. She lifts you up, and her eyes are the most crystalline blue you've ever seen. Her hair is dark as night itself, and the smile dancing on her face says that she would not in fact hurt a fly. However, her musculature, the fact that as the sea stormy and dark of all of these people as they press and jostle, move around you, she remains steadfast. She literally is a rock in the ocean. Everything bouncing off, around, and edging past her. She lifts you to your feet.
Oh, thank you.
Don't be a ding-dong. Are you okay?
I'm doing fine now, kind of. I'm take a few steps away from the mob of people that I assume is still roiling and toiling.
You are too small to be in this crowd. You should perhaps maybe come back on Thursday.
Yeah, no, definitely thinking I'll come back on Thursday. Is this a normal thing here?
What do you define as normal? Every weekend or every day?
Okay, well that actually gives me more information than I had needed. Now then, I'll point back to the... I think I've made myself clear. I'm not somebody that can be...
No, not you. Yulia. Is your head okay?
Miss, I'm not talking to you in this moment. I'm talking to that individual. Though, thank you, once again, I repeat, for pulling me out of there. And if there's any way that I can help you out, please let me know. But firstly, I need to deal with this individual that was trying to purchase my soul.
Is he a representative for Liquid Death?
What?
Liquid Death? The water from Australia?
I could turn you into liquid death if you keep speaking.
You are a representative for Liquid Death. Nice. I already sold my soul. I had 2 cases. I did it twice.
Wonderful.
What is... Am I the only one here that is completely confused?
Yes.
Understood. Well then, look, if you wish to approach me for a deal, you are coming about it the wrong way. Especially if you're coming at it with the intent of intimidating me into giving you the Allies' location. That does not happen.
Fine. See it that your business is burned down by the end of the week. And he turns on his heel and walks away.